Hi, today I'll be showing you how to make a plaid pattern end grain cutting board. The first thing I did was cut my boards down to 14 inches in length for the walnut and maple and 28 inches for the cherry. Here I'm just cutting a few of my boards narrower so they'll fit on my joiner. Once I had one flat side, I planed them down to just over 1.5 inches thick. Then I cut my cherry boards in half and cut 7 strips of the cherry, 4 of the walnut, and 3 of the maple to the same width as their thickness of just over 1.5 inches. I then plane them down to exactly 1.5 inches. Make sure to rotate them 90 degrees and send them through twice each time to keep them square. Next, I glued up the walnut and cherry as shown here. And the cherry and maple was glued as seen here. I then cleaned up the faces, taking hardly any off so the end grain shape remained square. One end was then squared, and 1 3/4 inch strips were cut off both glue-ups. Alternate the strips like this when laying them out and glue them together with the end grain facing up. I tried using my table saw fence to help align the glue up, but a straight board would have worked just as well. While that was drying, I started working on the panels that would be the end grain strips. First, I glued up one with walnut and one with maple. You'll want the walnut one to be a little longer than half the length of the board, and the maple one's a little longer than the width. I resawed mine a little wider than 1/8 of an inch and then sanded them down to exactly 1/8. I then cut a bunch of strips at the same thickness of my board. Once that was done, I surfaced one side of the cutting board and squared up one edge. Now you'll want to cut lengthwise down the center of the maple and cherry squares. Now we can glue the walnut strips where we just cut. I actually ended up making some new ones that ran the entire length of the board rather than splicing them in the middle. Once the glue was dry, I squared up one end and cut widthwise down the center of all the walnut and cherry squares. The maple strips were then glued in there. Finally, I surfaced both sides of the board, then squared up both edges. This was followed by a lot of sanding and a small round over. You want to make sure to go back and sand all the edges by hand. Lastly, we can finish off the board with the dip into the mineral oil. And here are some pictures of the final result. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, then please give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss out on any more videos like this. Thanks for watching.